Thank you for joining us today for our video tutorial on Canvas Access for Parents, brought to you by the Educational Technology team at ISP. I am Dr. Nicole Yemothy, and I will be your tutorial host today. I'm the Technology Integration Coordinator, and in conjunction with my team, we are the Systems Administrator for Canvas to ensure that it's working properly and most efficiently for our students, staff, and parents. You can contact me by email at nyemothy@isp.edu.pa. For technical support, you can also reach out to the Tech Center by email at edtechhelp@isp.edu.pa, or you can call the Tech Center at 295-3000 and ask for the Tech Center or extension 3133. If you're on campus, you're welcome to come by for support at the Tech Center. We are located above the ES gym at the end of the hallway at the top of the stairs, just down from the nurse. We're open from 6:45 in the morning to 4:30 in the afternoon for support whenever school is in session, and we are closed on weekends and holidays. Feel free to come by for support and contact us by email or phone. Our staff speaks both English and Spanish, and we're there to support parents as well as staff and students. To get moving today, we are hoping to show you how to use Canvas, how to access your account as a parent, as well as where to view your students' courses, grades, and assignments. We also want to make sure that you know how to make some changes in Canvas on your settings, like how to add an extra user such as your spouse to your family account, how to set the notifications for automatic messages from Canvas for each access in the account so you and your spouse can have different auto messages to how you want them, and how to change your password. So let's go ahead and get started. First, you're going to need a laptop with internet connection, and then you'll also need to have the mother's email address on record with the ISP Admissions Department. If you're unsure of what that email address is, you can contact the Ed Tech Department, again by email or phone, or come by our office and we can help you. You'll also need to use the default password of ISP123 today. That default password is lowercase ISP and is cap sensitive. Please note that the password is 6 characters long, and when you create your own, you will need to have at least 6 characters and include 1 number and 1 letter. If you've been using Canvas in the past with us, your access will be the same of your email addresses. However, your password was reset this summer, so please use ISP123. Then later you can go in and reset your password back to the password you had before or something new. So let's get going. We're going to go over on a web browser that can be Chrome, Internet, or Firefox. You can use a Mac or a PC or an iPad with a web browser. There is an app for Canvas, but it does not give you as much access as using a web browser. So for today's example, we'll stick with a web browser. We'll go ahead and go to the ISP website and use the parent quick links to access Canvas. Once you get there, you can bookmark Canvas so that you can go directly to Canvas from the bookmark. But if you ever do forget the link, you can always go back to the ISP website and use the parent link to Canvas. So we're going to go ahead and get over to the internet now. And as you see, I've got the ISP website up on my computer, and I'm going to go to Parents and click. Once this opens, I can find the Canvas quick link right here. When I click this, it opens up Canvas. I know I'm at the ISP Canvas site because I see our beautiful logo and our school colors. If you do not see the ISP logo, or you do not see the letters ISP up here in the URL, then you'll need to go back and refresh or try again for the URL. Canvas is available around the world for schools K-12 through universities. Therefore, it's very important that the letters ISP is in the URL and you see our logo. Otherwise, your login will not work. As I mentioned, we're going to use the default of the mother's email address. So here, for my demonstration family, I'm going to type in the family email address that was on record under the mother, and then I'm going to type in that password of ISP123, and I'm going to click Login. It's immediately going to take me to the home page. If the password didn't work or the email didn't work, you won't be able to get in, and you'll need to reach out to the Tech Center. As long as you get in, you'll be able to see all this information. If you haven't been in yet this year, or your child has had a change to their classes, up here you may see an invitation where you can decline or accept. I don't have one right now showing on my screen, but you will want to click Accept. If by accident you do click Decline, you can contact the Tech Center and we'll go ahead and get that invitation sent back out. In order to view your child's classes, you have to accept each of the classes they're in. Your children are enrolled in somewhere between 8 and 12 classes, depending on whether they have semester electives or an advisory or study hall class being used in Canvas. So you will need to accept multiple invitations, and if they change courses, there will be a re-accept on that invitation to the class because of the change. And their information will transfer over with them once the change has been accepted. So we're going to go ahead and move around in Canvas, but first I'd like to show you a few of the links. Up here, this blue bar is your ribbon, and these take you to links within your Canvas settings of the overall account. When you click on something, you'll see things populate here on the left or over here on the right. Those will now be addressed the individual class that you've opened or the area you've opened, but you'll always be able to use this blue ribbon to get back to the general links to the account. You can always click on the ISP logo to take you back to home as well. So here in courses, as you see it pops down, you see multiple courses for my 2 fake children that are set up. If you have one child at ISP in grades 6 through 12, you'll only see the classes for one child. If you have 2, 3, or 4, including twins or triplets, you will go ahead and see multiple classes. In this case, I have 2 children set up in this demonstration class, and I have 17 classes between the 2 students. So if I click on this link here under View All, I will be able to see all of my classes for my 2 children. But I don't know, except for the grade numbers, which class belongs to which student. I'll show you a shortcut somewhere else in just a moment, so where you can see it's a little easier to tell which class belongs to which child. You'll also new this year be able to see when a course is not published but your child is enrolled. You won't be able to get into this course or see any information, but at least you know the class is there. If this class remains unpublished for a long time, please reach out to your division principal and let them know that you can't view a class because it's not published. You'll also notice here that you're enrolled as an observer. An observer is an account that lets you see things but not do stuff. So while you can click and view the calendar, click and view assignments, and more, you can't submit assignments and you can't do work or participate in discussions. If you see any other title than observer, please let EdTech know so we can fix your settings and that you have the proper settings. You'll also notice when I hover over any of these classes, my cursor changes from the arrow that you see now to a little hand. This means that I can click on this link and it will take me to that class directly. Anytime your cursor changes to a hand in Canvas, it means that you have the ability to link immediately to that section or that class. So if I want to go here to Math 6, I can go ahead and click on it and it will take me directly into Math 6. And here I have my home introduction from the teacher, and you'll notice that the side here on the left has changed. These links now will take me to these topics within Math 6 only. And you'll see this line here at the top called your breadcrumbs. It will change a little bit, but you can always click back to get back to where you want to go. So in this case, I'm in Math 6, and I want to go ahead and look at announcements. These are sort of like the teacher reminder or an announcement about a change or something upcoming. It is not the assignment or homework, but it might remind them that something's coming due. So here I clicked on this, and I have notices from the teacher about login information or quizzes, and over here it tells me the time, and if there's no date, then it tells me that that was done today. If it has a date, that tells me the date, and I can hover and find out when it was sent out. And so here you see there's 4, 5, 6 announcements, 7 announcements by this teacher in this class. As the year goes on, this list can get long, so you can search for topics here by typing in like IXL, knowing you want math information about this program, and it will reduce the announcements down to just announcements about this topic. So then we'd like to look at assignments because I'd like to know what kind of homework my child has coming up due or is past due. So if I click on assignments, it takes me to the homework assignments, old or new, within this math subject. Right now, this assignment list is sorted by their type. Up here, I can change by date and see them in the order that they go by date of due, upcoming, and past. Past does not mean late, it just means that that assignment has come and gone. It could be submitted and it could be graded, or it could be outstanding. You can also click on type like we had originally, and it sorts the assignments by the category that they are getting graded. So here this lists all the homework assignments that over here tells me equals 10% of my child's grade. Here it lists all the quizzes, tests, and projects in a big group and says that all these together will combine to equal 70% of my child's grade. So again, it's your choice which kind of view you want to have. Your changing your view does not change the view of your child or even your spouse if they have a different login. And you can change it back anytime. Another feature in Canvas is to have classroom discussions that are done on a board or a discussion board like a chat room. It's secure, it's within Canvas, and of course it's related to the subject, which is your child's classes. If there's a discussion being used, sometimes teachers use it for a introduction to a topic to find out previous knowledge, or have the students talk about ideas or their thoughts, or maybe reflect on an assignment. Discussions can be a graded assignment, a check off as in did or didn't do, or just an open activity to show participation. Does not necessarily mean it has to be graded. When the conversation closes, the discussion moves to the bottom, and if there's a new one coming up, it opens up. If there is nothing here, it just means that it's not being used at this time or is not in this section of this class. You can also view your course grades for specifically to math. And here you'll see it tells you which student, so this is one of those ways where you'll know that you're with the correct student or child that you want to look at, and you'll see all the work that is due. And again, each of these hyperlinks become an opportunity to click into the class. You see the due dates and when they're due, how your child scored on them, and how much they're individually worth. You also have a summary here at the bottom, but the summary will move down on the page as more and more assignments are added. So you'll want to sometimes scroll down if this isn't showing because it's at the bottom. I can also use this drop-down menu now. Here, all my classes are sorted by my child, and I'm only able to see Lewis's 6th grade classes. I'm no longer seeing my 10th grade student because I'm not within her section of classes. So this is one way to help you find only the classes that pertain to one of your specific children. So you can go ahead and use this as a shortcut to jump all the way over, say, to social studies, and now it will take me to social studies and all the grades. If I want to now look at more about social studies, these links over here will no longer take me to math because I'm in social studies. So they'll take me to the social studies announcements or modules or syllabus. Every teacher should definitely have a syllabus that is loaded, and it tells you how to reach the teacher themselves, the principal for that division, an overview of the class, about their policies, gradings, expectations. And as you can see for the social studies, it's nicely laid out in a linear format. Some teachers put up a document or build a grid, so every teacher can do it differently, but the same kind of information should be there. So if I want to now look at the modules and assignments for social studies, I can click on modules, and this teacher has it organized by graphs, geography and maps, and Wednesday skills. And so all these type of activities and things that are going on pertain to geography and math skills, and these show me dates of things being posted or due. And then here for Wednesday, this shows some activities that will happen on Wednesdays. If I go back to here, I can click on this breadcrumb and it takes me back to the beginning of that subject. But if I wanted to go back to math, again, I could click on the courses and find the math class I want and then jump back to it. So I can move around multiple ways. I wanted to go back to math because I wanted to show you under modules, having just looked at the social studies module here with Mr. LaRue, how he has it set up by geography and map skills and Wednesday, that if I go to math, the teacher might set it up a different way. So if I come here to math and I look in the modules, you'll see that this teacher has it set up by websites that they have resources at and their units and chapters, and then other activities like a welcome or an icebreaker. In this class, I can see that some of these assignments are downloadable documents by the symbol and the information of the documents, or that they're in an information link, and that means there's like a data and concepts that the students can pick up. So if I click on the tic-tac-toe A, it will take me to this whole resource. And here the teacher has the title of the resource, has a dropped-in video link that as a student or a parent I could watch and learn about multiplying decimals. Here she has a resource of a link that I can click to, and if I click here, you'll see my class is still up here and saved, and it opened up a new tab to a new program where I have a resource. And here she wants me to watch a video as a student or a parent to understand about multiplying decimals. And then when the video's over, I can go back to class and there's some activities and assignments. So this is a comprehensive activity and unit with 2 resources of an embedded video as well as a link. If I didn't have the login information, the teacher provides it for me here, and then she gives us some activities to do. Again, as an observer, you can view all this and see all this, but you can't do the work or submit the work. But you could watch the video and you could view the other sublink video she sent. You also have the ability to view a calendar. Now again, I'm up in the blue ribbon, as I mentioned earlier. Up here in the blue ribbon takes me around my master of Canvas, while this list over here on my left takes me only to the subject, links to the subject of the class I'm in. So if I click on calendar in the blue ribbon, it'll take me to the big calendar for the whole account that I'm in. And since I have 2 children, it could have a lot of information or it could have a little. Right now, you're not seeing a lot because I've turned off all the features. If I click over here on the right to all the buttons for the different subjects my children have, you'll start seeing how things are populating up on the calendar. And when I finish clicking, you'll see on the calendar there'll be a lot of different colors, and this is the month of August. Each class gets its own color on the calendar, and if I don't want to see it, I can click it and it came off. So here I clicked Math 6, and you'll see that it came on and it came off. So if I only wanted to view my 10th graders' work, I could turn off all of the 6th grade work, and I would only see the stuff pertaining to my 10th grader. And if I wanted to do the opposite and only see the information of my 6th grader, I can turn off the 10th grade stuff and just view the information for my 6th grader. And there you go. That's how your calendar works. And if you want to see a future month, you can go at the top and you can just go ahead and jump to the next month, and any of the settings you've done over here on the right will stay for the next month. If you only want to see a week at a time, you can come over here and change in this right-hand corner or right-hand upper bar from month to week, and you'll only see the things for each of the weeks. And then you use the toggle over here on the left and keep moving over, and you would see the weeks as they pertain. So that's how your calendar works. It's helpful when you're trying to make plans and look at activities and see how your schedule in the household, or if both your children have assignments or tests on the same day or the same time. The other thing up here in this upper corner is you have access to an inner communication system within Canvas, and you have the ability to change your settings as well as log out of Canvas. So let's go ahead and look at the inbox, and then we'll talk about settings, and then we'll wrap up this tutorial. So for the inbox, this is an internal email system just within Canvas and the classes that your children are enrolled and the teachers. It is not an additional email, and it is not a additional account to set up on an Outlook or anything else. It's totally within Canvas. Once you click on Inbox, it takes you to the screen. This side of the screen here where my cursor is would list all emails that I have coming in, and when I click on them in this box over here to the right, I would see the actual email. They use the same buttons, such as the universal symbol, to mean to create or write. But also in Canvas, when you hover on things, it will show you what the words mean. So if you click on this here for create a message, it will open up a message box. In this message box, you choose the course for who you want to reach out to. So maybe here we want to reach the PE coach, and then we can go to the To section and use the address book that's pre-stored for us in the system and type in, or click on the button, and it pulls it up, and I can find the teacher's address and click Daniel Marshall. Then you'd put the subject for your message to the teacher. Here, because this is a test and I want him to know that, I'm just going to put test message from a parent training. but maybe you're writing to let them know that your child had an accident and broke his arm and can't be doing PE because of this, and that you'll be sending a doctor's note. So maybe your title would be something different in that case, or they forgot their uniform or something. And then here you can type the message, "Dear Coach, this is a test message from a parent training. No need to reply. Thank you." So then I sign it and I click send. Before I click send, if I wanted to attach, say, a doctor's note from like the example I gave, then I could go ahead and click the button here, and it would allow me to open up and pull an electronic copy of whatever file I wanted to attach. So if you had that doctor's note electric scanned, you could go ahead and attach that file to it. And we'll go ahead and cancel that. If you did attach something, the words would be here that you attached. And then you can click send, and the message goes to the teacher. If you want to check that it's sent, you can change from inbox to sent box, and then you would see, and here you see the history of test messages from other trainings and demonstrations. If the teacher did write back, then it would show up here and you could click on it and view the message. And if you wanted to reply, you could simply reply right there, not have to start a new message, and it would keep the copy and the history of your chat. Again, this is an internal within Canvas only system to communicate with your teachers and your student as well. You know you get a new message in Canvas when you log in and you see a little circle with a number next to inbox. That'll let you know that you have other messages waiting. So if you don't see a number, then you have no messages, but if you'd written a teacher and they wrote you back in Canvas, you would have a number there indicating the message. Last thing I want to review today with you is your settings, and here we're going to learn about changing the language, changing your password, and adding additional users, and changing notifications. So we'll click on settings first and it will load. Here, once it's loaded, you'll see that you have your family settings. What we ask kindly, though, is that you do not change anything in this upper settings section or under the names or the time zone. The time zone is set to Lima because of Panama's non-changing with the United States' daylight savings. So Lima is the correct time frame for us. You may change the language default, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Please do not change your name or display or sortable order. If you notice something is out of order or misspelled due to a typo, please contact the Ed Tech department. Let us make the changes so that we make sure the changes were reflected in all of the systems at ISP and not just one. If you make a change, we won't be notified about it, but if you contact us to make the change, then we'll know and we can make sure it's corrected everywhere. Thank you for your understanding on that. If you'd like to go ahead and change your foreign language or your language from the defaulted English to a foreign language, you can click on Edit Settings and come over to the menu. When I click on the drop-down menu, you'll see that the Canvas program does have multiple language options. So if you wanted to change your language to Spanish, you could do that. Now, when I click on Spanish, it doesn't change anything until I save it. When I save it, you'll notice that only the words here on the side are going to change, and all the directions and indicators within Canvas are going to change to Spanish. Because I have an auto translator set on my account, it will only stay for a few seconds, and I apologize. But if you look, when I click Update Settings, you'll see how it did change to Spanish for a few moments before my auto translator took over. And so if I put it back by my original, there you go, you'll see. Now what please do notice is that while these instructions changed and all of this changed, when I go back into my classes and say back to math, you'll notice that while the changes were here, the teacher's English and typing did not change. So changing the settings and language are only going to change the directions. And again, I apologize, my auto translator is kicking on, that the Spanish stays here in the directions for you, but it is not going to translate the information that your teacher has put into the system. So we'll go ahead and go back here to my settings, and I'll be able to change my settings back to English for my preference. And then I save again. And now I'm back into English and it will stay in English. If I do want to change my password, which again we do encourage ISP123 not to remain your password, please click on Edit Settings and then you check this little box of Change Your Password. you'll notice some things change on the screen, and you'll have to input that old password that you had. And then you can go ahead and change your password to anything you want it to be, but it must be 6 characters long and must include a letter and a number. So here I'm changing mine, and when I hit Update Settings, it's going to save that change. If I change my mind and want to change it back, I can do that. It's not a problem. You just keep hitting Edit Settings and check the box. However, please note that you can only change the I clicked on the wrong button. You can only change the password for the account that you are logged into. So you cannot change your husband or your wife's password or a different account's password unless you're logged into that account. And we'll talk about adding more accounts in just one second. So the next thing I want to talk about is that adding extra email addresses. Over here on the right, you'll see additional email addresses can be added by clicking on Add an Email Address. So all you do is click on that Add an Email Address and add in whatever that extra email address is. And it can be any kind of Yahoo, any other country or accounts, and then you hit Register Email. That account will then get an email that they'll have to go to their email and open and confirm, and when you do that, it will help you set up your password. And you just click OK. Until you set up that password, it won't be registered as an account to access. If you discover that you have an address listed that you no longer want to use or do not have access to, you simply click on the trash can and throw that address away. Again, we ask you to please not change this default address that we have here unless it is completely incorrect, and in that case reach out to Ed Tech and let us know so we can update all the systems, not just Canvas. This is again the mother's email address that we use through the RenWeb and the school records system. The other thing before we wrap up for the afternoon I'd like to do is show you how to change your notifications. If you click on here under the word notifications on the far left hand side, the page will load up where you can set automatic notifications from Canvas. You can set these notifications for each account that has access to the overall family account. So here in this case you see there are 3 email addresses that can get notifications. If you only have one address, you'll only see one column. If you do not see any columns, you'll need to please contact EdTech and we need to check some configurations. You should at least see one column. These notifications can be divided into different areas such as due dates, grading policies, and you can read down the list on the screen. And you can have different preferences as you see. If there's nothing there or 2 X's, it means that the system will not send you an automatic notification, but you can still view that information when you log into Canvas. The due dates, for example, here, this one address wants a daily summary. This one address would like a weekly summary, and this address would like a weekly summary. Say, for example, I wanted this one to be immediately. The moment a due date is entered or changed, I want to be notified. I simply click as you saw me do and change it to ASAP. Once I click it and it shows here, it's automatically saved. I do not need to go down to the bottom of a page or look for a save button. If I change my mind and say nope, I want to change it to daily, I can click again and simply move it to daily. It's whatever I prefer. If you don't want to hear anything again, just make sure it says never, and that means you can view it, but it's not going to notify you. ASAP means the moment it happens in the system by Canvas, it's going to notify you. If you have multiple children and every one of their classes gets an announcement, you will get under ASAP one email for every announcement that was made for every child you have for every class. So do think about how often you want to get those emails when you're considering your settings. If you find they're too much, you can come back to Canvas very easily and change the settings to a daily summary or a weekly report. If you think you're not getting enough, you can come in and again you can make that adjustment for yourself. The only thing that is set automatic and default on this account is ASAP for invitations so that you know that you've been added to a class. If you want to turn that off or make that just tell me once a day because there's multiple classes, again you can make that change. And it's that simple. Again, you don't have to save it. It saves automatically for you. So that's about it for us for today. I appreciate you joining us and thank you very much. Please remember that if you would like to contact EdTech, you're more than welcome to contact us by either email or visiting or making a phone call to us. And again, here's our contact information. Thanks for joining us, and we hope you'll join us for another tutorial later. Have a good day.